Good morning. This officially marks 2nd of September 2025 that we are starting our first official podcast. I'm Silvana and next to me is Gwendolyn.
Hello.
And Gwendolyn's never done something like this before.
No, I'm a virgin.
So what is the intention of the podcast? The intention of the podcast is to introduce to the world how you are a magical being, and if you knew how to tap into all your abilities and all your skills, how you could heal yourself and become a supreme being on planet Earth with everything else that is going on the planet at the moment. So I'm going to give the floor to Gwen so that she can introduce herself to the world and what she does and how she manages her life and her chaos on a daily basis. Off to you, lady.
No pressure. So, my name is Gwendolyn, as you've heard. My journey has been a very, very long one. It's been a lifelong journey. From the moment you come in to this place, you're learning, and it never stops.
Correct.
So, am I starting from childhood?
Wherever's comfortable for you, whatever resonates for you in this moment, and whatever the energy is pulling in for you, you talk about that topic. Because to try and talk about your entire lifehood history in one podcast, it will overwhelm everybody.
True.
Yes. So
True.
you talk about whatever's coming through. And when we were driving here, talk about that area, about how we become slaves to conditions because of our healing process that we're going through. That's not happening fast enough for us to be able to step into our paradigm.
So I find the one thing that really helps me ground in that space, because it creates a difficulty in this life when you've got one foot in the spiritual realm and you're looking into spirituality, you're looking into what it is to be a conscious being. And the problem comes when you've got to now pay rent, you've got to now look after school fees, children, your husband. We were talking about it earlier. It's called the big stick. And this big stick is above you, and it's now you need to operate, you need to perform. But the whole point of consciousness is that it's not performance.
Correct.
It is being completely in that authentic present state. And now how do you walk this fine line between being a very conscious being and having all these things that are coming at you that you need to now deal with? And this is the conversation we were having.
Correct. Because inherently every human being's got fears. We wake up every morning and the first thought that we go is all our problems. That's the first thought that we wake up with every morning. When we wake up in the mornings is our problems. How do we deal? How do we cope? How do we solve this small little problem? And what we don't realize is that our subconscious is no longer our own, because we've allowed technology, pain, situations and conditions to change all of that and to overpower our ability and our capability of waking up in the morning and with conviction say to that day, you will not be my master. I will show you how to operate today. And if we had to tune into that ability and that power every single day of our lives would be fundamentally, completely changed.
Absolutely.
Because now we realize that we no longer have to perform and produce and cultivate and create the whole time. We just have to be. And the moment that you step into being, everything else that belongs in that being comes into that field and resonates into that field.
And the best way to cultivate that is to create a space in the morning where you are doing a morning ritual.
Correct.
To get up early enough and to be doing that morning ritual.
Correct.
So you would be waking up in a space. I do a beautiful exercise that another psychic taught me. The moment you realize that you're awake, you're waking up into this world, you say to yourself, what am I proud of? What have I done that I'm proud of? And you name that thing. And then you say to yourself, what am I grateful for? And you name that thing. And it starts the whole day. Your whole day's tone is set within that. You're giving yourself the love, the acknowledgement, and the gratitude. So you move into your heart space. You settle in your heart space. When you're grateful for something, you're deeply thankful that that thing is alive and well in your world. And so you move into the heart space. And once you can start your day in this way, it sets up the whole day.
Correct.
You can take it a step further. When you wake up, you do a breath practice.
Mm-hmm. And you love doing breath work.
I love doing breath work, and I've discovered a magnificent breath work that really, really works. It's called box breathing, and it allows the brain to completely go into that inner space. So we are so conditioned to constantly focus on the outside.
Correct.
And what the breath does is it focuses you in. So when you wake up in the morning, before you even open your eyes, what am I proud of? Da, 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 da. What am I grateful for? Da, 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 da. And then we start the breath work. As you wake up, you just move your legs, put it on the side of the bed. If you want to do a proper ritual, get yourself dressed and ready, and that's also good. But it's also good enough just to do it right there in bed, and you do your breathing. And in that way, once you've done the box breath and it takes you into that deep inner space, that calm inner space, you can then sit in silence. My thing is, I listen to the birds. I love the sound of the birds, and the birds in the morning, especially now it's spring, is magnificent.
Correct.
And so once you can sit and you just listen to the birds, and you be in that feeling that has been created through the breath work. Sometimes, for me in particular at the moment, it's been stressful. Some inner issues have come up, and sometimes it's difficult to be in that space of, oh, it's beautiful and it's peaceful and I can go in, I can listen to the birds. But once I've set up the gratitude, Doggy agrees. Once you set up the gratitude and you take yourself into that deep breath, now whatever is sitting there, even if it's uncomfortable, I have to now go and find work because I need extra money for school fees. And I'm worried about that. And fear has come up because I haven't worked for a while. I've had the luxury of being able to do deeper spiritual work in this time for 3 years. And now suddenly, I have to now go and
Find
perform
again.
and make money out of nothing. And so that discomfort sits there, and I can, within that space, be with that. And then ask it questions. What do you want from me? Why are you here? How can I move beyond this? And you just sit in that space. And even though it's not joyful and blissful and all of that, it still helps you set your day up so that you can then function and put one foot in front of the other without collapsing.
Correct. But now for people who don't know what we do on a daily basis, our energy work, if you had to try and explain to somebody that is totally brand new and they are now going, oh, you're living in a fantasy world and you've got no idea what it means to go out there and having to produce and having to have a job and responsibilities and accountabilities and debt, especially debt. How do they step into what you have just spoken about? How do they transition from having all this chaos to quietening themselves if they've never been introduced or exposed to the type of energy work that we do? How?
Okay, well, it comes to having the intent to want to understand that there is an outer world and there is an inner world.
Okay.
That's step one. You've got to understand this concept.
Yes.
And the outer world is full of chaos. It kind of feels like it happens to you, right? And the thing to realize, there's a few steps that you can take in this journey of understanding what is the inner world. First one is that you are an observer.
Correct.
Your brain is thinking the whole time. That we're used to.
Correct.
This, we wake up in the morning and the thoughts go.
Yeah.
This is what I need to do, all those things.
Yes.
And it's constantly going.
Right throughout the day.
Throughout the day.
Correct.
Observe this. I'm thinking. Wow. I'm thinking. I just had a thought. Observe yourself thinking. Do this for a while. And then what you will start to notice is that there is an observer observing you thinking.
Well done.
And this,
well done.
This is the trick. This is called observer consciousness.
Correct.
And this observer consciousness doesn't have opinions. It doesn't have backstory. It doesn't have trauma. It doesn't judge. It's pure observation. Once you can see this side of who you are, now we can sit and we can meditate. Because now you have the possibility of when you're sitting in silence and you're in that observer sits like behind. You're watching yourself thinking. Here's a real thought. You never, ever, ever have to finish a thought.
Correct.
Never.
Correct.
It doesn't matter what the thought is. You never have to finish it.
No.
And once you recognize, I am thinking, that observer kicks in and goes, okay, I'm thinking, and I can put it aside. I can stop that thought immediately and breathe and listen. Listening, I lived in a Buddhist temple in my 20s.
That was part of her journey, and this is the most fascinating part of her history. When I met her, she introduced me to the fact that she lived in a Buddhist temple. I'm like, excuse me, don't mind me. We've got lady here next to us. She's been in a Buddhist temple, people. Please tell everybody.
Not as glamorous as you would think.
Not as glamorous as they make it out to be.
No, it's hard work.
Yes.
Because, and while I lived there, I did a whole workshop with a Buddhist monk called Rob Nan. Beautiful, beautiful man. And for weeks, I think it was a 6-week course, we went once a week, and he taught us about silent meditation. And what the Buddhists or Buddhists will always say to you, you need to quiet your mind. But as a Westerner who is driven by
producing the whole time
and mind, we live in our minds.
How do you quieten your mind? How do you let your mind be quiet?
Exactly.
Your mind turns back to you and says to you, what are you talking about? I'm not going to be quiet right now.
And it's going to have comments about what you're doing. And judgments. And all of that stuff. And pictures.
Oh,
and
fabulous.
It goes berserk.
Totally.
And so what he taught us was having a focus. And that focus is sound. Because sound is always, it's a constant. And it's in the moment, always changing, always shifting. And the whole point of meditation is that you get yourself into a space where you are completely in the present moment, resting in that present moment. Even if the mind is going, I'm thinking. Listen, there's always sound. Even if you are in the middle of the night, in a room with closed windows and doors, there is sound. There's a hum in the room.
Correct.
Your breath is making sound. And if you live in a city, there's always a car
running past on the highway.
Or an aeroplane.
Correct.
Okay, so there's always sound happening. So you can focus on that sound. And then you'll see your mind will come up with pictures of what is that sound? I can't place it. Hold on. I'm thinking. Come back to quiet, present sound. What's now? I can hear the birds.
Like we're hearing them now.
I can hear your voice. Exactly. There's always that to come back to. And once you practice that again and again and again, that observer consciousness becomes much, much stronger. It becomes a way of being, a way of observing. So the Buddhists also have another beautiful saying that when you get up off your meditation cushion, your meditation continues. It doesn't stop. So anytime during the day, you can go, I'm thinking, I'm so caught up in my thoughts, or even emotions. Emotions are exactly the same thing, but emotions come with stories, with trauma, with relationships, with all of that stuff. It is the same thing.
So what I do on a daily basis to help myself ground whenever I'm going into ADHD zone, because I have got dyslexia like the rest of my family. I come from a family that have got severe dyslexia. And I've managed to cope with it and deal with it throughout my life. I use my earphones. I plug my earphones onto my ear, and I've got one set. I find on YouTube a set that resonates with my energy. I will listen to quite a few and I'll go, no, that one doesn't ping. No, that one doesn't ping. No, that one doesn't ping. Until I find the one that resonates with me, that settles me. And I put my earphones on and that's all I do. And I find the Om sound grounds me immensely. So you'll see, excuse me, you'll see millions of YouTube videos of the Om sound. But how do you actually say it correctly? You can say Om. That's not the right way. You have to start with the A and you go into the U and you go So it's a whole session like this. And as you listen to the sound, you are repeating that sound the whole time so that that energy, that sound that we're talking about can vibrate through the body. So the moment that you start activating that sound into the body, your cells, your DNA start activating on that sound. And you will see that if you keep on the repetition every single day of your life for 30 days at least, because that's how long it takes a human being, 30 days to change a habit or a routine, you will see dramatic shifts in your cooperation with other people, your transitions with other people, your presence in the outside world. People will start staring at you like, what has she got that we don't have? What have you got that I don't have? I also want some of that. And you start changing into that resonance, into that energy in that sound field. I cannot emphasize enough how much it means when you can bring your consciousness, your higher self, your portals, your chakra beings and your chakra portals inside your body into alignment, into that sound frequency.
If I may add here,
Sure.
What is important within that journey, there are many tools that you can use.
Yes.
But the thing is that it takes your focus.
Correct.
To do it. You can't just have the headphones on and om,
Yes.
and your mind is all over the place. That's not the point. The point is to actually be with the sound, feel the sound. What does that? How is it moving through your system? How does it feel with that sound in you? And what feelings are being evoked there? What is present right here, right now, as it's happening, every single time? And as you do that, that's what shifts the frequency.
You know what I find fascinating about the discussion that we're having right now? So now I'm getting all these messages, the downloads that are coming through. Is that we are as human beings, we are so easy and comfortable with pain. We love pain more than what we love healing. We would rather focus on the pain that I've endured in childhood, through relationships, not having a father figure in my life, being isolated, being abandoned. I would rather focus on the pain that I know sits there and faces me every day, instead of focusing on the healing that I'm sitting next to Gwen and she's busy doing the Om resonance. And just with her energy that she's resonating on that sound vibrates into me. And if I could take the entire planet and shake them and just go, wake the fuck up, don't you people realize that if you started working on your frequency, on your sound energy, your pain dissolves because you find tools to dissolve the pain. Because the pain you don't have to hold on to. But we keep on consciously holding on to that pain because it installs fear, it installs regret. I have to keep on thinking about the pain and about the past because it keeps on reminding me of the piece of shit that I was. And it's not about that. Well, you are allowed to heal. You don't need permission to heal. And this is what people don't understand.
But also that pain sometimes sits on a very unconscious level.
Correct.
Because sometimes it's generational pain that we didn't do the the thing to get that karmic consequence. You know, it's the ancestral line that carries that pain. So sometimes the pain sits at a very unconscious level, subconscious even. And once you start doing this work and you start working with the frequencies, that pain, which is actually a knot, it's a tight fist like this that holds a certain frequency, and usually around it is that survival mechanism.
Correct.
This is how I'm going to survive.
That's all I know.
And this is all I know. And this is
And I don't want to know
pattern.
anything else. Yes.
This is the pattern of how I'm going to do it. And even though you're in a new situation where it's not that trauma situation anymore,
you still go back
you
to
still have that knot and that behavior.
Mm.
So what happens with frequency, particularly when you start working with frequency, and I have a magnificent another one for you if you want, is that unconscious knot. Once you start to relax and release into the sound, then also starts to loosen. And once that starts to loosen, it starts pushing up into the conscious mind.
Correct.
So now the thing is, I'm not feeling so comfortable today. I don't know why I'm not feeling comfortable, but something's not okay. Maybe something triggered you yesterday, a thought, a music, a person, anything can trigger these things once.
Feelings.
And also these are belief systems, these knots.
Correct.
And so they come up to be released through this sound vibration. And the whole thing, I think it's my mantra, feel your feels. Don't push them away. Don't project them onto anything else. Maybe someone said something and you're going to just project it back onto them. No. Feel that feeling that's coming up, because that is what needs to be shifted. That is what needs to be healed, resolved. So feel what it is. And the only way you can do that is by being in the present moment. And it's uncomfortable.
Very uncomfortable.
Last 2 days I woke up, I'm deeply
Very
uncomfortable. And it's okay. It's okay, because now I can greet whatever comes towards me and go, I know that you're teaching me. I know that this is a lesson.
But that is human nature.
Yes.
We don't have the tools. If Gwen had met me 3 years ago, if I had met Gwen 3 years ago, 5 years ago, maybe I would not have liked the version that I meet today. She would definitely not have liked the version she knows today. Completely. Because why? I lived in my pain. I lived in the drama of, oh me, oh my worms, oh I'm going to go and sit in the corner, I'm going to go and cry. And through this healing work and I got pushed from a young age, knowing that there is universally so much more out there, that we are not just programmed just to produce and live and make debt and have children and have families and suffer through the pain. It's impossible. It's absolutely impossible. And through my journey, I've learned that there has to be more, that there has to be something out there that is so loving and so kind that it just wants us to heal. But it sits out on our peripheral area, around you in a bubble, throughout your life. And there you go, and you are just gunning through life, and you are just producing, and you are harming, and you are hurting people as you go through your life. And this energy, this higher self, sits there waiting for you to eventually stop the one day and go, fucking hell, I can't carry on this way. And in that moment, the higher self said, oh, yay, she's ready. We can now start working on her. And that's when that intersection, that phase into your void, into your energy, starts coming down to give you that healing, the tools, the people, to bring you out of that void, to help you to transition.
And never to forget that within the ultimate truth of reality is that is you. You are the healing you need. You are the monster you need. You are you. This inner frequency, that observer consciousness, that is you. And everything comes from that. Everything. Everything out here that we project out here is just created by the mind.
Correct.
It is all within, and this is why you need that time to be quiet, to start your day the right way, because it carries you right through the day.
It's got huge implications. If you wake up in the morning with worries and concerns and start fighting with your partner and your children, your entire day is fucked completely. I don't care who you are. You are getting into accidents on the road. You fight with your boss.
You're distracted.
You hate your employees, your co-workers, everybody, because you started your day wrong. And if we had to take the entire planet and change everybody, the whole 9 billion, to start their days like us, can you imagine what a beautiful planet we would have? What a peaceful planet we would have. Just by connecting to your source. You are your own source. You are divine. You don't realize it.
And you become a lot more mindful. And as you move through your day, you know, you're mindful as to what comes out of your mouth, what's coming towards you. And the other thing is that it's very, very easy, once you've done it again and again and again, that when you do have something that comes in and whacks you and wobbles you, you can go, oh, okay, I just need to ground. I just need to be quiet and breathe. And then not project everything out and not be distracted and have an accident. It helps regulate your whole being to being more present, more grounded, and within that your light shines more.
Oh, for sure,
and more,
100%.
and more, like Silvana was talking about.
No, 100%, definitely. So we wanted to introduce the concept of healing to the world. We will be doing this every Tuesday. We've started officially today on my godfather's birthday. Love the man
Happy
to bits.
birthday.
Oh, happy birthday. So we will be meeting every Tuesday, and the intentions of these podcasts are to bring you out of that void, out of that pain, because there are people that can give you the tools that are there to help you and support you, but you have to be the work. You have to put in the work. You have to take that step, like a person who's a drug addict, and say, I can't carry on like this anymore. I need the help. I need to stop doing and harming whatever I'm harming in the process. And that affects everybody around you, your entire family, your co-workers, your employees, your company even. So that's
we hand our responsibility over to everybody else.
Correct.
And it's time to take it back.
Correct. 100%. It was lovely joining you people. It was lovely connecting with all of you.
Yes.
In follow-up podcasts, we will take you further into Sophia Code. Oh,
Ooh, yum.
Yum. That's something else completely different.
Very special.
And that will take an entire podcast, maybe even 2, to introduce you to the Sophia Code. We love you. We greet you. We bless you into this beautiful Spring Tuesday. And we can't wait to spend another Tuesday with you.
Absolutely. Have a wonderful week, and we will see you again next week.
Bye.
Bye.